Hey, it's Whack-A-Mole number 74, Mazzy here, and the random pulls. But today is, let's see, the 14th. The 14th of July, I'm taping this, 2020. It's Linda Ronstadt's birthday. I love Linda Ronstadt. I don't know if she gets a lot of love here in the VC. Today's her birthday. Just really quickly go through. This was not a posthumous, a release, a different drum. She had the big hit with the Stone Ponies, different drum, great song written by Mike Nesmith. You all know as the Monkey, and the son of the woman who invented whiteout. So, Linda Ronstadt, Stone Ponies. That came out the Capitol after she kind of started hitting it big. Homegrown, first official Capitol record produced by Chip Douglas. A lot of this stuff was recorded sort of in Nashville, the country rock thing. She was more of a country rocker in those days. Silk Purse, maybe not the most ideal cover, but still, all these records are really good. This is produced by Elliot Mazer, who worked with Big Brother and the Holding Company on some of Cheap Thrills, produced Neil Young's Harvest, several Neil Young records. But one of the great songs on here, arranged and conducted by Norbert Putnam, is Long, Long Time. And I urge everyone to listen to her version, or her single, Long, Long Time. One of the most beautiful, some of the most beautiful music on record. One of the most beautiful songs ever recorded, Long, Long Time. And her performance is just stunning. The thing about Linda, she doesn't like her records. What the fuck is that about? You know? Linda Ronstadt, beautiful cover. This is more country stuff. She does I Fall to Pieces on here, the Patsy Cline song. A few covers, Woody Guthrie, Birds, Neil Young song Birds, and others. But all these are original copies I bought at the time of release. Now, this is where it put her over the top. The irony is she owed one more record to Asylum Records, and then this comes out on Capitol. She signs to Capitol. Peter Asher is her producer. Peter Asher, of course, from Peter and Gordon. The Beatle connection there is obvious. If you don't know it, well, then you need to get educated and watch more of my channels, more of my videos. But this has When Will I Be Loved, You're No Good, Faithless Love, Heart Like a Wheel, Anna McGarrigle song from the McGarrigle sisters. The great song Willin'. So many people have covered Willin'. Willin' is Lowell George, Little Feat song. Little Feat recorded it twice, and so many other people, including C Train and many others, have recorded Willin'. You know, I think sometimes people don't give her due because she basically is a cover artist. She doesn't, not a cover artist, but she gets great songs and finds wonderful songs, and they become hers. She's not a songwriter. So this is the one that she did Back to Asylum after that, and this is really a beautiful version of Desperado, the Eagles hit, and I would argue that maybe her version is more beautiful than Desperado. Love Is No Pride, wonderful song. Silver Threads and Golden Needles, Colorado by Rick Roberts, who would be a member of Firefall later, I believe. Great songwriter as well. Now, this is a great retrospect of her Capitol years. So, in fact, there's a great CD version too that's expanded. So, the CD version has all her Capitol records on a double CD, as I recall. This is really good. Go really quickly now. Prisoner in Disguise. These are the huge hit years on Asylum Records. She covered a lot of Warren Zevon, or several Warren Zevon songs. Poor, Poor, Pitiful Me, and Hasten Down the Wind, and she named her album that. So she was a champion of Warren Zevon and actually sang on several of his albums. You know, some people don't like that she covers like Back in the USA on here, but you know, biggest female recording artist of the 1970s, sold more record than any other. This was huge. I don't have volume 2, but I have most of the records, or most of the songs anyway. You know, she fought against her record company. They didn't want her to do an oldies record, or quote, a standards record. So she gets with Nelson Riddle and his orchestra. This is the box set version. She does these great songbook, and she nails it, and these were huge sellers. Go Linda. Same thing with, they didn't want to do a Spanish record. She does a Spanish record. This was huge. The Spanish-speaking market, even You know, gringos like me love this stuff. Gorgeous record. Really great sounding, great interpretations. Here's that first beautiful cover, that Nelson Riddle Orchestra record. This is the actual way initially it came out. Then she gets into things like, I don't have Mad Love, a little new wavy thing. I showed this on one of my videos saying it wasn't one of my favorite Linda Ronstadt records, and some guy just really went at me. Fuck it. I listened to it again. It actually is, it's a good record. It's just not one of my favorites, that's all. But it's a good record. We love you, Linda. And this came out just in the last few years. Had never been released from the HBO special, part of a live concert she did. And this is excellent. This is this is 1980. This was recorded April 1980 at Television Center in Hollywood for HBO special. Of course, I could show them. I don't have it here, but then there's the trio album. She's with Dolly and Emmylou Harris. So and so many others. So she's guested on more records than God, almost any other vocalist I can think of, but Emmylou probably too. Great vocalist. So happy birthday, Linda. 5 random picks. Thanks for indulging me and celebrating Linda Ronstadt. Let's, put on some Linda Ronstadt today. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Getting tight in here. This Charming Man. I have almost all of the Smiths 12-inch singles with cover stars. I love this. There's an earlier video where I showcase my Smiths collection because I started collecting all these. Most of these are UK, but I do have some American. The cover artist here is Jean Marais, and of course the music is Johnny Marr and the lyrics by Morrissey. Great song, This Charming Man, and backed with Accept Yourself and Wonderful Woman. So it's an EP, 1983, The Smiths. Love the Smiths. The only real Chicago album that matters when they recall the Chicago Transit Authority. This is a Rhino reissue. I have an original, and I like this too, but I think the originals are great. This is an amazing record. Political in some ways, 1968, came out, double record. As far as I'm concerned, once they started adding Roman numerals to their albums, I don't give a shit about them. They got a little music sappy after about their 4th album, 5th album, after the big live multi-box set album. But this album's amazing. Great cover of I'm a Man, the Spencer Davis Group song that Stevie Winwood sang. Just wonderful record. Beginnings. Does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care? Not just the Ventures, but the fabulous Ventures. You can get a million of their records cheap. Get them. Everyone has something wonderful in it. This is Needles and Pins, Tall Cool One, Pink Panther theme, Only the Young, The Cruel Sea, Fugitive. They do a mix of sort of rockin' standards and covers. You all know the fabulous Ventures. We love the Ventures. Surf guitar at its best. Fender Jaguars, Fender Jazzmasters, Fender bass, Fender. Ventures. Curtis, was this the first album or second? This might be the second album he did. This is a reissue from about 10, 15 years ago. Really great album, Move On Up, and it's got the long version of Move On Up, which was a great kind of poppy, funky single. I think this didn't get a lot of great reviews at the time, but this has become just such a gem. Curtis Mayfield. I almost wanted to get that Curtis Mayfield box. It has this, Superfly, I think 2 or 3 other albums, but I already have Superfly, and of course Superfly, one of the great funk soul soundtracks, maybe second only to Shaft, since it's a double funky soundtracky album. And that's a shout out to Bob Bradley, who just showcased those 2 records. I could go either way. I'm going with Shaft. But great album, Curtis. And lastly, this is the time I worked for ABC Records, back in my record days. This is from 1976. This is Rose of Cimarron. It's called, yeah, Rose of Cimarron. Poco. Poco had a tempestuous, they never quite got there. They were always like second to the Eagles and every other country rock band, even though they started way early. Started with Jim Messina in the band, who would become a member of Loggins and Messina. Worked with Kenny Loggins. Great records. Good Feeling to Know is great. They morphed some of the same. Richie Furay was in it for a while too. I like their ABC records, and I worked for them they finally had the Pieces album, that real kind of schmaltzy song that really finally put them over the top, and they had a hit finally. But Paul Cotton and Timothy V. Schmidt, so it's funny. A Poco member becomes an Eagle. The guy on the end here, Timothy Schmidt, becomes an Eagle. Guess the paycheck was bigger. This is a good record, and as I recall, these records for ABC, I wish I still had it. I had a signed lithograph of that horse illustration cover, because the record covers of that, I'm not sure if this one, let's see, art direction design, these covers were designed by Phil Hartman. You know Phil Hartman, Saturday Night Live comedian? He was a designer. Did a bunch of a handful of album covers. Did that Poco record Legend with the horse on the cover, the illustration, and this cover as well. He's designer on this. Tom Wilkes did the photography, I believe. Good record. Nice. These records sound really good too, and I think you can find them fairly cheap. But I would say anytime you see a Poco record, pick them up, because they're the country rock band that just didn't quite make it. But the epic stuff, Deliverin', the live Poco album, is a fantastic record. Do I want to pull that out? Do you want to see it? Peek. Oh, no, from the inside. Fantastic country rock, and this has balls. Deliverin' by Poco, country rock. And this is, they do Kind Woman, Richie Furay, the Buffalo Springfield song on here. Jim Messina, his Stratocaster sound is fucking amazing. So anyway, great live record. Poco, Mazzy loves you. Happy birthday, Linda Ronstadt. Take care, DC.